I'll take your calls from around America. Let's begin. Well, anywhere in America is good for me. Misty and KS on KSFO, line 8. Go ahead, please.
Hi, Michael. Wow. Okay. Being a conservative is having values, and I have so many things on my mind that I've been wanting to talk to you about for so long since I've been listening to you. I'm probably the only person that I know that is living the plight and the type of life that you're living, and because of it, you become ostracized. But truth makes you march on, and even to my own demise.
Misty, slow down. Misty. Let's not have Misty, I don't want to hear your personal complaints. Let's stick to the bigger picture. What is a conservative?
The animals and people that think that going hunting or maiming animals and all this extinction and killing and all this stuff that's going on with these animals, I mean, these animals are the most precious things that we really have.
But Misty, you're missing the bigger point. Misty, stop.
Misty,
Mr. Board Operator, try to do your job. Misty, you got to hear me in order to have a conversation. You're not hearing a word I'm saying. We're having a little problem with that as well. So I'll repeat it again, Misty. What is a conservative to you? What does it mean?
A conservative is having values, morality.
What value? Stop. What values? Obama has values, but they're not my values. So what do you mean values? Which values?
Well, for me, I mean, I'll just go back to the point of truth. I think there's only one truth. And when you're living in truth, you know...
Well, wait a minute. Hold on now. That's not so. You know okay, we're having a terrible problem here on the Savage Nation with communication between myself and callers, with technical difficulties. I'm doing the best I can, but if callers can't hear me, it's terrible radio for you wonderful listeners out there, so we're going to try another caller. Mark on WABC, go ahead, please. You're on the Savage Nation.
Yes, you were speaking about elephants before. I wanted to tell you that in the Jewish teachings, the ancient Jewish teachings, it talks about that there was a great flood. And actually, before the flood, a lot of people don't know this, God did not want to bring the flood. He wanted to punish mankind in a different way. And actually, there were human beings that were turned into monkeys and elephants. So I believe that elephants, the reason why they're intelligent is because they're actually human beings.
Well, I heard what you said, but why would God choose some people to be elephants?
I don't know why, but there is a teaching that says that humankind, I think a third of the world, was turned into elephants or monkeys. So that could be a reason why elephants are intelligent nowadays.
Well, it's an interesting teaching from where? The Torah or where? The Midrash? Where is that taught?
From one of the sages. I'm not sure. I could look up the exact source, but I don't know offhand. I just remember.
Well, that's very interesting that you as a religious man would relate to this topic. I would not think this is a topic for a particularly religious person, the issue of animals and animal sensitivity. But, you know, since you called, may I assume that you are of the Jewish faith?
Yes.
Okay. So you're a religious Jewish person, and yes. You certainly eat meat, but you eat meat that is that's kosher meat, which is slaughtered in a ritual manner. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay. I'm going to put you off, say thank you to you, but I'm going to tell the rest of the story. I studied this in great detail 20 years ago. People think that the word kosher means clean, and in a sense it does, but they don't understand the origin of the kosher food laws. And I, as a trained anthropologist, learned this 30 years ago from a very brilliant teacher, where he wrote a paper where he said that the origin of the kosher food laws had little or nothing to do with the cleanliness of the food, or even, let us say, whether it's religiously appropriate or not. It was to take out the bloodlust in mankind at the time by teaching them, A, that animals had feelings, B, that animals were conscious, and C, that you had to slaughter an animal in a humane way. So they taught the ritual slaughterers not to use a rusty knife, as our Taliban have done on human beings, such as Daniel Pearl. As you well know, the throwbacks, called the Islamists, use rusty knives on human necks. You're not supposed to know that, because we're living in a new world order where we're supposed to look away from the throwbacks who live in 1,000-year time warp. But nevertheless, to go back to this, they were taught in ancient times to slaughter animals in a, let us say, efficient manner, if you want to put it that way, that is as painless as possible. In other words, the animal feels, don't torture it. And that was the origin of the kosher food laws, according to this this professor. Now, I'm sure many of you will disagree, and I don't even want to talk about kosher food laws. So, Doug, don't take any calls from people who are going to disagree with me on that, because then we'll get sidetracked from the bigger issue, which is, what do you think being a conservative means? How do you feel about an animal activist such as Michael Savage, who has been doing as best as he can? I mean, we need to raise the consciousness of people around the world to what is being done to these most majestic of creatures, and they're being slaughtered. They're being slaughtered. Whole tribes are being slaughtered. There we go again. Testing 1, 2, 3. You're screaming in the microphone, almost deafening. All right, welcome back to the Savage Nation. The phone number here is 855-400-SAVAGE, 855-400-7282. We've had a few technical difficulties, but I think you've gotten the gist of my program thus far. I think you know the questions. We've got loads of callers. You can call us if you want to join the conversation.